Christina Previtt, and I'm here today with Robyn Ross. Robyn is a family and divorce attorney in New Jersey. She's the founder and proprietor of a law firm known as Ross and Calandrillo in Mountainside, New Jersey, a two-woman headed law firm. And I'm here to talk to Robyn as part of my Wonder Woman interview series, to talk to Robyn about her life as a woman, as an entrepreneur, and as a force to be reckoned with. So thank you, Robyn.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me. And I just want to say that Robyn has not gotten these questions in advance, so these are going to be completely spontaneous. So I've been watching you on social media.
Okay.
Just so people know that we did become acquainted as divorce lawyers because we had a case together.
We did.
But that was a very short-lived case.
It was.
And
I think that's good for us, though. That
yes,
says a lot about us.
And good for the parties,
yeah.
yes. So, but I've been watching you on social media since then, and I have to say you've really inspired me and grabbed me because I feel like you're so engaging and so interesting.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
That it really made me want to talk to you more and find out more about you.
All right.
So, you recently started your own law firm, right?
Yes. It's it will be 2 years in January, so that's very recent, like in the life of law firms.
Yes, it is. But you're doing very well.
Yes.
And you look happy.
Thrilled.
I want to talk more about what your thought process was when you were an employee somewhere else, and how it came to be that you became an entrepreneur.
So the funny thing about it is I never wanted to own my own law firm. That was never. People would ask me all the time and say, are you going to start your own practice? Are you going to open up your own firm? And I always said, no, I just want to practice law. Like, that's what I want to do. I don't want to be a business owner. I don't want to have to deal with the headaches of running a business. But then I think what ended up happening for me is that I came to realize that the only way for me to have control over my own future and my own destiny was to be a business owner. So no matter how hard I work or how great of an attorney I thought I was, the reality was working for somebody else, they still have control over everything, over your compensation, over your schedule, over when you take a vacation, over what you decide to do with your personal life. There's somebody else that's driving the bus, and I realized I want to drive the bus. It was almost like it happened like in a day. Like, I don't know.
You're answering all my questions.
Good.
So it wasn't like it was this gradual thing. It was like a light bulb, like an aha moment.
It was definitely a light bulb moment, and I know exactly where I was when the light.
Tell us.
I was driving back from court from Monmouth County, and I don't know if it was just that it was a long drive or that I hit traffic. Like, I don't know what it was, but I'm in the car, and part of it was a conversation I had with my client in the courthouse, and he was a client that I generated for the firm, and all of this. And so he's asking me like all these questions about like, well, how does it work? And you brought me in, and how does this work?
Oh, wow.
And I think that kind of got the wheels turning. That as I was driving home, I said like, wait a minute, this is crap. Like, why am I doing all of this work and making money for someone else? And I think like as I started driving, you start calculating like, well, how many clients would I need, and how many hours would I have to bill to make what I'm making now? And then you start doing all of that math, and you kind of say, well, financially, it's stupid for me to remain an employee.
Yes.
Like, all of a sudden you just kind of realize, not that employees are stupid. If you want to remain an employee, do it for sure. But in my head, I go, this doesn't make sense to me. It just
it's a
it was
trade-off.
almost like and then at that point I just started thinking and saying, what do I need to do, and how do I go about building?
So how long did it take you from that aha moment to really start doing things to set it in motion?
It probably took about a year after that before I actually started actively setting things in motion. And it would have taken less than that, actually. I was going to start the process probably 4 or 5 months after that. I was thinking that would be my exit, and things happened. So
life happens.
Life happens, and certain things kept me where I was.
Do you think looking back on those things, do you think those were real things?
No, they weren't real at all.
They were just like obstacles or red herrings.
I think that a lot of it was I felt a duty to my old employer that I probably didn't need to feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that especially we as women tend to put everybody before ourselves. So I was basically putting my employer before me. And I don't think that that's a bad thing, that, you know, if that's how you are, if that's your character, that's fine. But sometimes I think that we need to rethink who we're putting first.
Yeah.
You know, and in that case,
And why we're doing that.
Yeah, like why was I putting my employer first? Why was I thinking about what they were going to do and how, you know, and how it would look if I left and how they would feel if I left.
I think
that
as
went
women
through my head a
we do
lot.
that.
Yeah.
Well, I think men do that too, but I think as women we do that a lot in different areas of our lives.
Yeah, I think that we do, and I personally feel that that's something that maybe we can change. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially when you're putting, you know, it's one thing to put your family first, or, you know, people that are close to you that you care about, and put those people before you. But if you don't take care of you, you can't take care of anybody else.
Yeah,
so,
and who else is going to take care of you?
Nobody.
Yeah, right? So would you say that you felt fear when you were making this transition into your own firm?
Terrified.
Yeah.
I was terrified because as interesting as it is, I believe in the power of positive thinking, as corny as that is.
No, I do too.
But I never once thought to myself that I would fail. That wasn't the terror. You know what I mean?
What was the terror?
I think the terror was change.
Yeah.
Was like, you know, like we get so comfortable. You know what I mean? Like you're leaving, you know, a cushy job and you have perks and you have these and you have benefits and, you know, and you're leaving
predictable.
That. It's very predictable. Like, you know, every 2 weeks I'm getting a paycheck. No matter what, you know, when you own your own business, you don't know if every 2 weeks you're getting, especially when you're starting, you know?
Yeah.
So I didn't think that ultimately that it would be a failure. Like, I never said, okay, I think that, you know, 5 years from now or 10 years from now, there won't be a Ross and Calandrillo anymore. I never thought that. But I think it was just fear of change. It was just doing something new and like taking a leap.
I can relate to that. So how have you eased into that over the past 2 years?
Well, I think having a really good partner helps. Having someone who understands your mindset.
So when you say partner, you mean business partner?
Business partner, yes. Not that my partner's not good too. But
that helps too.
Yeah, that definitely helps. Having someone understanding, and maybe that'll be a different question of like, you know, when you're working like nonstop, you know, how do you deal with home life? But having someone who understands your mindset and has the same business vision that you do and wants to grow and wants to do well and listens to like your stupid ideas, and you're like, I'm always the one saying like, okay, this is what I think we should do. And Liz, bless her, she's like, all right, let's hear it. Like, what's the cockamamie plan that you have now of what we're gonna do? You know what I mean? But she listens to me, and sometimes she goes, okay, so maybe we're not going to do all of that, but let's do some of that.
Yeah, you have a sounding board.
Yeah.
I always go to my business partner and say, I have an idea. It's either brilliant or really stupid.
Or crazy.
And I don't know which one it is. So it's
right.
nice to have somebody that you trust that can, and that really knows you well.
Yeah.
That can be honest with you and say, yeah, I don't know that that was your best idea, but I think maybe we can tweak that a little.
Yeah, or do something different. Or even, you know, when I'm trying to go a mile a minute, you know, she's the one who says like, you're going to get an ulcer if you don't slow down. So maybe take these 2 projects off of your plate for right now and focus on this, this, and this. So I think that helps. And then as far as just easing into the transition is that this is now my new normal. So it's not, this isn't change anymore. Like this is just, this is it. This is my life. It's normal. So.
Well, you look happy.
I am.
And so you don't have any regrets.
Not one.
Excellent.
Which is awesome, right?
Yeah,
like, isn't it nice to be able to do something and go like, wow.
That really worked
no
out.
regrets. Yeah.
So what would you tell other women, not necessarily lawyers, but other women that maybe are working for someone and have dreams of starting their own business? What would you tell them?
I would tell them, as corny as it sounds, do it yesterday. Like, just do it.
Don't wait.
Just don't wait. Because, you know, when you asked me if I had regrets, probably the one I have is that I didn't do it sooner. You know, like I always sit and think like, why did I wait so long?
Yes.
You know, why, like, what was I so afraid of? You know, and I think if fear is what is stopping you, you know, from following your dream
advice.
or from doing what it is that you're passionate about, don't let the fear stop you, because at the end of the day, right, when you think about it, what's the worst thing that can happen? You fail.
Yeah.
All right, so just life. You get up, you dust yourself off, you go on to plan B, C, D, whatever it is that you have.
That's right.
But nothing is really like a deal breaker. Like you fail and you learn and you move on.
There's nothing so terrible that will happen that you can't overcome it and get past it.
Exactly, especially not in a professional realm. You know what I mean? Like if you're thinking about, I have this dream and I want to do it, you know, even if it doesn't seem like the most practical dream, give it a try.
Yeah.
You know, if not, you know, you maybe go back and you work somewhere else for a while. You do something else. You know what I mean? Like there's always, you know, something else that you can do.
Well, that's what makes us Wonder Women, right?
Yeah, I hope so.
So we've talked a lot about your business, but I want to talk a little bit more about you.
Okay.
Would you, if you had to give us your personal mission statement, what would that be?
My personal mission statement is, wow, that's a tough question. For me, I guess what's important to me, like my mission is I don't want to leave this world forgotten. You know what I mean? Like, I want to do something. And it doesn't have to be, like, I understand there are people I heard that do these wonderful, big, great things, and they start, like, big, wonderful cancer foundations. Maybe I'm not going to be that person. But, you know, if there are people that when I'm done with whatever it is that I'm meant to do here, and they say, you know what, Robyn made my life better for this reason, even if it's a tiny little thing, even if it's she helped me get divorced.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's still powerful.
It's still very powerful. You know, when you think about the ways that, and I know you understand this because you do the same work, but that we really do influence and impact people's lives. I think sometimes we don't even realize it. You know?
Yeah, because it's our job.
Right.
And it's what we do.
Right. It's like this is your job, but you know, when I have a client that comes back and says, you know, I was in an abusive relationship and you taught me I had a voice, that means so much to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you don't even realize that you had that effect.
That, you know, just by me being my usual mouthy self and like telling her ex-husband to go sit down and shut up, like she's like, wow, you can talk to him like that? You know what I mean? That by just being you, that sometimes you can impact people. So I think that's one thing that I want to have an impact. And another that always goes back to the fear is like I never want to live my life with fear. I don't want to be afraid. You know what I mean? Like I don't want fear to stop me from doing anything that I want to do, except for bungee jumping. That would never happen.
I don't think so. And zip lining.
No, I heard the worst story about zip lining. So no, I'm not doing anything. Nothing like that. Like no jumping out of planes. That fear will keep me, but certainly not fear of failure. I don't want that to drive my life at all.
Absolutely. And I think that again, and that's part of what makes us all Wonder Women. And that doesn't mean that you don't have fear. It just means that you take that fear and you try to channel it into something positive and overcome it and do the things that you want to do anyway. Right.
Right. Despite the fear.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
And I think you're definitely an example of that. So going back more to the personal side of things, what do you like to do in your free time, especially in terms of self-care?
Okay. So I have just recently become good at self-care. I was horrible at self-care, you know, but for me, as much as I hate it, but love it, exercise is a big thing for me. Like, I hate the thought of it, but then like once you're doing it and you're done with it and you feel great and you know, that's a big deal for me.
No one ever goes to the gym and says, I'm really sorry I did that.
Like you don't ever leave and go like, why did I go to the gym?
But you do say, I really wish I had gone to the gym today.
You know what, you're right. You're absolutely right. Like on days that I don't go, I go like, man, I wish I would have gone to the gym today. Like that would have been, that would have made my day better. Yeah. But that's a big deal for me. You know, yoga, massage, you know, finding things. Facial. Thanks to you. Thanks to this one over here. Yes. But just finding things to make me feel good, whether it's just feeling good about myself, feeling good about my appearance, feeling good about being healthy. Yeah.
And it's not vain. You know, I talk to a lot of women about that, and sometimes there's this mentality that if you spend too much time doing those things that you're being vain. But I don't see it that way.
I don't see it as vanity either. I think that you should do whatever makes you feel good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I know for me, and you have to know who you are as a person. If I leave the house and I feel like I look crappy, I feel crappy.
Yes.
My day is crappy.
It
like
does.
everything's
It taints your day.
Yeah. So if that's what's important to me is like taking the time out to curl my hair despite the humidity and the fact that it's all gonna fall anyway. But if that's what makes me feel good and I feel like that's gonna help me proceed with my day in a better way, why not?
Or having a good eyeliner day, which I see you are having a good eyeliner day.
Yesterday was a train wreck, just so you know. It's like this eye was all the way over here and I was like, whatever. I said, you know what? I'm on trial. I don't think the judge cares that my eyeliner's messed up.
Probably not going to notice that.
No, didn't notice that. Moore said, like, can you stop objecting every other question? He noticed, but, you know.
So if you could be a fly on the wall and overhear someone talking about you, what would you want to hear them saying?
I would want them to say that I'm brilliant, that I'm a hard worker, that I'm creative. It's really interesting to me that things that people say that are supposed to be insulting to me sometimes are not. Like, if someone says, oh, you know, Robyn's such a bitch. I don't know that that's an insult to me. I think that maybe it depends on the context, but to me, a lot of times that means, well, she speaks her mind, she's empowered,
Exactly.
she says what she means. And if it's said in that context, I don't necessarily take it as a, like a negative. Maybe I should. I don't know.
I don't think so.
But I think for me, I would want people to say that I do good work and that I'm a good person and that I'm intelligent. Like when it's funny, like I've had, and I'm sure you've had too, that like spouses of clients will like say bad things about you. And I said, like, they'll come back and say, my spouse said you are A, B, C, and D. And I said, but, it's funny. She didn't say I was stupid. So I'm okay with it. You know what I mean? Like, to me, like, that's like more of an insult to me if somebody says, like, your attorney's kind of a moron. Like, that would be an insult to me.
Sometimes they do say that, but you know that it's coming from a place of fear on their part because you're actually doing your job and they don't like that. So if the other spouse is saying negative things about you, I've always told my clients that, well, I guess I must be doing my job.
Exactly.
If they're upset.
Yeah.
So, and I do think that people would say those things about you.
I hope so.
So what advice would you give your 15-year-old self?
Jeez. Okay. So my 15-year-old self, I would say save more money.
I think you need to say that to my 40-something-year-old self.
Yeah, I still need to say that to myself now when I go, shoes or the retirement plan? I don't know. Like, I can retire a year later. Let's get the shoes. But I would say that. I would say speak up. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like 15-year-old Robyn, and this is something that almost 38-year-old Robyn is still working on, that I tend in my personal life to be very anti-conflict. And I don't know if that's because of what I do.
Too.
I don't know if that's like a...
Which people laugh when I say that.
I know,
but it really is true.
I don't know if it's an occupational hazard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's kind of like, look, I spend all day fighting with people. I spend all day arguing.
That's how I feel.
That I would say to my 15-year-old self, don't be afraid to speak up for yourself. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I think that's definitely something that you learn as a woman, because I can look back on when I was a teenager and so many examples when I didn't speak up for myself and let myself be in a situation that I wasn't totally comfortable with. And I think as a teenager you just naturally care too much what other people think.
That, interestingly, I don't know if you found this too, like, you do grow out of that.
Yes.
Like, I feel like with every passing year, I care less and less
Definitely.
what people think about me.
Oh, yeah. Because you can't. You can't please everybody. There's always going to be someone that's not happy.
Yeah. And it's very freeing to say, like, oh, so-and-so doesn't like me. all right.
Okay.
You know, like, that's such a freeing
all right.
thing. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay that everybody not to like you.
Yeah.
So maybe that would be good advice for my 15-year-old self, too.
Yeah,
Like, if everybody
definitely.
doesn't like you, it's okay. Like, not everybody's gonna like you.
To at least start thinking about that. Yeah, because there's always going to be lessons to be learned at 15, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So this was very enlightening, very inspiring.
So much fun.
I hope that it was inspiring to the women out there who will be watching. And thank you so much for taking the time to share your story with us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for talking to me. I appreciate it.
All right, bye guys.
Bye.